Hi everyone. Welcome to the UncleTalks live stream. I'm your host Peter, and it is the second Monday podcast, and I'm here with my co-host Rainier.
Hello.
Welcome everyone. Welcome. If it's your first time on the podcast, welcome. Always love to greet welcoming chats. I would say new faces, but I don't think we can see you through your webcams if you have a webcam. If we did, that would be like, FBI open up type of meme. So hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. Apologies for not being able to do the podcast last month. That was my fault. I practically just felt like being lazy, and I was like, wait, oh my gosh, we forgot to do the podcast on that month. So that was my fault. I take the blame. So don't blame Rainier. Don't send him any weird stuff. Hopefully you don't know anything about his information or whatever. But if you do,
I accept all kinds of death threats.
If you do not send him anything. Don't blame him anything. Burn me. Don't burn him. That sort of thing. Anyway, my best friend John, which you probably are familiar, if you guys have been tuning into the streams for a while, like whether it be me playing gacha games or the podcast, you knew that John was also part of our podcast at one point, but unfortunately his schedule wasn't allowing him to, but he's going to join us for this podcast. So, but unfortunately he, as you probably know the running joke, he's indisposed at the toilet, so we have to wait until he blesses us with his presence. But we're gonna actually start. So today's topic for this podcast, I think a lot of people can really understand the feeling of this, is being pulled in multiple directions. Especially when you're in life. I felt like I wanted to bring up this topic because I actually watched a podcast by The Diary of the CEO, and he had on his podcast a person that was an entrepreneur who basically believes that entrepreneurship is the ultimate goal of having ultimate freedom in your life and the ability to gain wealth. Well, he also had another person there who was more of an entrepreneur. He was also an entrepreneur, but he was more targeted towards going into more of the government policy aspect of it. So like creating government policies that basically boost the middle class instead of just, making it easier for business people to basically pay less in taxes to provide more wealth and growth and everything like that. So we will talk about those broad topics in addition to like our favorite topic, AI and stuff. I know some people don't like AI, but I can hear your boos right now, but I do believe that this will be a perfect discussion point to basically talk about how all of us are feeling like we're being pulled in multiple directions, because that's what you deal with in life. You deal with being pulled in multiple directions, whether it be your families or... Hey, Johnny boy.
Hey. How was the bathroom?
Okay.
Test. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
What's up, guys? What's up, man?
Man?
Sorry.
Yeah, if you hear like a little echo, like that's apologies to John's part, because I know sometimes his mic echoes, so especially when it's me. So but we don't.
Let me know if it's echoing.
Yeah, we don't hear it now, but before it was. But unless you had your cell phone next to your mic or something. But now I don't hear it though.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So John has actually joined us when we just started the topic. So today's topic, John, is being pulled in multiple directions, whether it be in life or whether it be in other things like career or whatever it is that we humans do, the human thingies that we do in society.
Right.
We should call them that from now on, human thingies. Human thingies. Human thingies.
The thing.
So, I wanted to get started on that because I was watching a podcast this morning, like I always do, and every morning when I get up, if I don't feel like reading, because sometimes I'd be lazy like that. Basically, there were two entrepreneurs talking to the host, and one of the entrepreneurs basically says, "Oh, lower taxes on business people so they can actually create more system, more like jobs and all that stuff, and like the other entrepreneur was like, no, we actually have to do it on a government level so that the middle class can boost themselves up in order to create the revenue that these businesses need in order to maintain the ability of creating job growth and all that stuff. So I thought we can start with that because like Johnny Boy is like searching for a job right now. And
Oh yes.
and obviously Rainier is employed, and for your boy here, I'm unemployed, but I'm more of a bum than John because he's actually actively searching. I'm not. So you know, like I am the atrocious leecher. So you can blame me for everything.
Tears.
Tears. So
Tears.
so I think the thing I want to start out with is what do you guys think is the solution to this type of problem? Actually, because there's a lot of division on this topic, because like a lot of people worry about, you know, people that are workers like kind of leaning towards into a more socialist type of aspect, while like people that are ultra capitalist, they want to go for it, so it's like they don't have as much regulation, or they want to reduce as much regulation on their business practices as possible. So like, what are your guys' take on it?
Well, let's see. Let me. Can you define first what the problem is?
I think like if you were to come up with a solution, because we're practically like all of us, I guess, like we would be considered like the working class, like working middle class or something. And I think what I want to ask you guys is what would you think would be a really helpful solution? Because it seems like it's just two entrepreneurs talking to each other and they already made it, but at the same time it's like, what would be a good what would be like a good way to set up a system where it's like we promote competition, but we don't do it to the point where it's like, oh, like even if you're born from a family that's like, you know, ultra wealthy, you still have an equal chance to make an opportunity for yourself compared to someone that's just born in from like, you know, like a very poor family or something like that, like based on merit. Because I think a lot of people I think a lot of people want to have a society where we're based on merit and not based on pedigree.
I feel like people are kind of contradictory about it, in a sense that like if you're someone from not wealth, then obviously, which is the majority, we'll say that, you know, we want it to be a meritocracy. We want our skills to lift us up.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when people get to the rich, right? Like when you become a millionaire or you finally establish your business.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, like I feel like attitudes shift, right? Where it's like, it starts becoming like, well, I made this wealth, you know, it was my hard work that got me to the million. And they start doing like, oh, I, you know, save up money or invest money for my kids, and I want my kids to have a good life and all of that, and pretty much essentially have their kids to skip meritocracy and just straight up get up to, you know, the social ladder. So it's almost like it depends on where you are in life, I feel.
Right. I agree. I think like I don't know about saying fixing it, but it's more like for us to have like a merit system versus a pedigree system of equality. But then like if it's too equal, then there isn't really a point of sticking out, since I mean, I'm sure that, you know, some people are just naturally gonna work harder, but if they're also not rewarded, then it almost is like it doesn't push them to the limits, I guess. Like even though it's something they want to do, I think just the idea of somebody working hard and then people knowing that, or even themselves seeing that and they're not getting rewarded for it, might cause like some type of issue. So it would be like, I think it's really just like everyone has like a level of equality of like gaining and earning and stuff, but then usually when you reach a certain level of like financial growth, there's like benefits that be really tied to like you know, I guess like the richer folk. If the benefits were not so like crazy high, Like if like so if the benefits for being really rich is like 200%, if it was lowered down to like maybe 100
Mm-hmm.
or like 90,
Mm-hmm.
so like at least like it shows that if you work hard you get some benefits, but then um it still feels like it's gainable for poor people. I think that would be
Yeah.
more inspiring.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
add into what he said about
Mm-hmm.
essentially. I feel like it's somewhat correlated to if you look at the chart between I think it was the average worker salary versus like the top like the CEO average salary,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and you just do a ratio
Yeah.
over the past few decades. I believe the ratio has gotten wider,
Right.
where say like I don't know, I'm just gonna throw figures, but I'm pretty sure this is kind of like I just wanted to do the impression it's not accurate, but say like back in the 60s maybe CEO earns 40 times a worker's salary.
Right.
Now it's like 1,000
Yeah.
x or
Yeah.
tens of thousands x
Yeah.
Right.
difference between the top and the bottom. So a lot of people talk about the K-shaped economy, and I do think that there is a K-shaped economy for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
A lot of it, it's just that like the rich has kind of took off. They took off
Right.
like we kind of know about the idea that like when you the richer you are, the easier it is to make money,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because you take like a typical savings account, and
Yeah.
we're not even talking about investing. Let's just put a savings
Right.
account that gives you like 3%.
Yeah.
A 3% of like $1,000 is
Yeah.
like what, $30, but a
Yeah.
3% of like $10 million or something like that, that's
Yeah.
huge. That's like
Yeah.
three
That's
Yeah.
hundred
really huge.
thousand
Yeah.
dollars
Right.
Yeah. I think that's like I think when it comes to like the attitude of meritocracy is that a lot of people believe that their hard work is linear. So like when they actually like what I mean by linear, guys, it like I know that's like a huge word, but people think that their success is a straight line, and they think that if they work hard enough, then basically the straight line will just keep going up. Well, in actuality, like money doesn't work that way. Money actually works exponentially, where it's like a kind of like it's like a curve that goes really like imagine a ramp, like a skater ramp. It literally is like that type of dip, and you start off very very low, but then when you actually reach a certain point, it shoots, and that's usually how wealth is. And I think
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, like I mean, like if anyone wants to correct me in the comments, or if Rainier and John wants to
I was
correct
just
me about
gonna kind of
anything,
challenge
Yeah.
you a little bit,
Yeah,
because you were talking about hard work, and I guess my contention to that is that hard work alone doesn't like equal success.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like hard work on something that's, I guess, is perceived to be valuable by society, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
say you're like a I don't know. I'm not downplaying janitors, but say like you
Yeah.
earn minimum wage. It doesn't have to be janitors. Say you earn minimum wage, you like in McDonald's or whatever. You
Yeah.
could be the hardest worker on earth, but
Yeah.
I guess
Like and I'm glad
know.
you pointed that out, because like what I have to reinstate what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is people's perception of hard work. That's what I meant. So like their it doesn't matter what obligation you are at. Like if you're like basically like doing your best to do the best job you can, most people will think their hard work is like a linear line, where it's like it just keeps going up no matter how much harder or how many hours you put in. They think it's going up like that, when their wealth is actually not following that, because it feels as if it's like, why is it that I work so hard and yet my wealth is not growing? That sort of thing. And that's the conundrum that most people, especially young people nowadays, they have to face that. And it's like, yo, I'm putting out so many hours and I'm putting myself out there in front of my boss, but yet I'm still not getting as much money as I thought I would, because I'm trying to put myself out there, and I'm pretty sure they notice. It's just that, why is it that I'm not getting paid more? And I think this is
I'm kind of like
Mhm.
I have like I talk finance. I like
Yeah.
the topic, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
like I talk finance with like my coworkers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of like in like I can kind of see why people are struggling, and
Yeah.
it's like most of the time it's their spending habits, and
Yeah, that's also true,
it
yeah.
just a lot of my coworkers are like in their 20s, so
Mhm.
I get the sentiment, but there's definitely a lot of that kind of like the kind of like the YOLO sentiment, or like you kind of know when like an adult finally starts getting like a proper salary, they kind of splurge out, or they go to all these concerts, and
Oh yeah.
meanwhile they haven't been taking care of their credit card loans or their mortgage, or they don't
Right.
understand how much money they're losing from like getting charged interest from all of their
Yeah.
debts.
And trust me, guys, like
Yeah.
we're probably like talking about ourselves too, because I was the same way. Like like I probably splurged here and there, and then I probably be like, oh dang, this is how much it cost. Like it wasn't from my own experience, because I've always lived in my parents' house, because I knew it would cost me a lot if I lived on my own, and that could have been a benefit, or it could have been a curse, because I knew I couldn't probably move out and be the quote unquote independent type of person that most people think is normal. But it was a benefit for me, because I realized that, I don't have to worry about like rent. I don't have to worry about electricity or like fresh water. But of course, like people that are kicked out of their house like by their parents, like they have to worry about how much things cost, how much do they need to provide, like the shelter that they've gotten from either their landlord or someone that was willing to like give them a room to rent, that sort of thing. And as an adult, you begin to learn that, oh dang, things are expensive, or like living by the standards that you grew up with is really expensive to maintain, you know. And
Yeah, that's often the problem, is that like, yeah, I understand things are expensive, but
yeah.
I'm also saying that like
Mhm.
people's behaviors and spending habits also doesn't help their situation.
Yeah,
When
because they were not
in-
taught that. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. And in my field, with the salary that we're earning, you can definitely like, if you choose to, you have the choice. You could get ahead. You could pay off your loans. But a lot of
Yeah.
people defer to the future. They're like, oh, this is gonna be a future me problem kind of thing. And a lot of people want to start living the life, quote unquote, so to speak.
And I'm glad you actually bring up that topic. So now we get into the topic of how much part of it do you hold yourself accountable, and how much part of it do you hold the society accountable for it? Because the thing of it is that like you said before with the janitor example, right? You can work as hard as you want, right? But at the same time, it's like, is it really being beneficial to your own growth as a person, whether it be financially or whether it be just like internally, in
I
your
guess
own life?
what people would say is that like yeah, you could start as low as you can possibly, but you always want to grow, so to speak. So
Mhm.
if you're a janitor, then you work hard, but you don't just work hard and stay as a janitor. I
Mhm.
guess the common subscription or prescriptions would be like, you're always looking for opportunities. You get up, like learn a new skill, and then you get a higher position. And once you're in the higher position, you learn, you keep going up, 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 up. That's like the idea.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to say about it, John?
Yeah. Um. Uh, where did my thoughts go? Um.
That's like a T-shirt for John's life.
I was.
Where did my thoughts
Yeah,
go?
literally. Literally, I was like thinking about the conversation, and then I blinked for like 2 seconds, and I just forgot everything. Um. Yeah. So it's so sort of. I think you guys were already talking about this, but it's like
There you
back
go.
when you were talking about how the janitor could be the hardest working person, but they could still be earning less. That's the thing too. It's hard. Like I don't think most humans. I think most humans in general don't want other humans to suffer. But I think one of the hardest things, especially when it comes to people having income and then working, is like it's hard to judge how much someone should be paid for the work that they're doing,
Yeah.
and like how it's balanced or equal to everybody else that's working. Like when you were bringing up the CEO, right? There are CEOs that like clawed tooth and nail to get to where they are, whether that's like they could have like climbed the corporate ladder like through charisma. Some people could have done it through hard work, or some people even just like they just get it, like they're like the son of the CEO, so like they just get the job.
Yeah.
So it's like it's difficult because let's say they all get paid the same amount, which could be like, let's say like 100K, like fictionally 100K like an hour. And it's just like then you still have like the McDonald's employee who's like the hardest working person in the world, but he gets paid like $5 like an hour, and it's like fucked up. But that's the thing, it's hard to calculate it's hard to calculate like what somebody should get, and I think it's typical and like it's sort of like a con, but when you're in a society that's based off like a that has like a financial like icon like money or something, this is sort of partially how you also calculate the worth of money and like
Right.
how you calculate, worth of jobs and stuff like that. And to talk about how some people like when you get a certain wage, half the issue is also how people, use that wage or live with it.
Right.
Like how some people are in a moan and all that stuff. There's a lot of factors, but yeah, when it comes down to it, it's sort of like when you're in a certain position or a job,
Yeah.
and like let's say like you're 20 and then it's like your first job ever, and you're getting paid like you get paid pretty well, like $22 an hour for your first job.
Right.
And then so you merely see that, and then you work for like a month, or you work for a month, so we'll say that you get like a check, a bi-weekly check, so you get 2 checks already.
Yeah.
And then like you see that you have like, what is that, like 3K, I think. Let's say like you get 3K ish, right? So then just by seeing the check, you're like, oh wow, I'm earning this much, so I guess like I could leave my parents' house, and then I'll just
Right.
get like
Yeah.
my own apartment, and then I'll get my own car, and I'll get all this. So it's like you get all this stuff. You've only worked there for like a total of this, let's say like a month has
1 month.
passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they'll be like, hey, what's going on? You're doing okay, but unfortunately I think we're gonna go with somebody else. So then like, they either let you go or they fire you.
Yeah.
So now you have all this debt. You have this apartment that you signed for like 6 months because you've only gotten that second month of pay.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then,
Yeah.
and then you have a car and all that stuff. So now you have all this to deal with. So then now you also have to go job hunting again.
Yeah.
And then in the real world, you have to think about loans and stuff unless your family or friends are gonna help you out with finances, right? And then you sit down at a bar drinking, and you're like, oh my gosh, where could it have gone wrong? And that's like the problem.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of problems start.
Damn, he went deep with like like a scenario where like a Korean drama is like, I'm gonna make it, and then suddenly like, huh? my life just started.
It's brutal, but like
Yeah.
unfortunately a lot of that's happened to so many people, and it's
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that.
there's this show called Beef. If anybody out there has heard of it or has seen it on Netflix, season 2 is very accurate to what I just said. Like a lot of the characters are dealing with stuff like that, so it's like it's a great. It's kind of like very out of the way, but it's a great like reference if you guys ever see it to what I just said.
No,
Yeah,
I'm glad you put out that example, because the thing of it is that when you're 20, like when you just graduate from college and you're like, oh yeah, I can achieve this and stuff. That is what I think a young 20-year-old would do. Like literally,
Right.
they're like, they look at their first paycheck and you're like, I'm gonna actually be able to make it. And then like things happen, like either they don't like the job, or like they realize that, oh, student debt is taking a big chunk out of like what I was expecting to pay for rent, and they didn't expect that, and like even their credit card bills are going. It's like, oh dang, I didn't realize I had this credit card bill too. Oh dang, electricity costs this much. It's like my water costs this, what? And then they get so many things thrown at them, they realize, oh dang, I actually have, now I see why my parents had to budget. Now I see why I gotta do this and that.
I can only hope that listeners have like a better time and stuff like that, but
Oh yeah.
for a lot of people that just, I think even like specifically right now too, a lot of people getting out of college, like I don't know if they came from the background, because I know a lot of gen, like the previous gens, like us millennials and gen yeah, we like have been talking about how like, oh, you came back from a time where
Wait,
they
the
tell you just
generation
to go to
before us or the
college.
generation after us?
It's our generation, and maybe is the generation after us the
Gen
newest
Z?
generation?
Gen Z. No, the new generation is like
Gen
alpha
Alpha.
or beta now.
Gen Alpha, right?
Alpha now, yeah.
Maybe I sort of like Gen Z, but I guess us and then
Yeah.
the generation before us, it was like
Right.
we were taught how like, oh, you just go to college, and then
Yeah.
when you go through college, like
Yeah.
there'll be a job ready for you like after
Yep.
you come out of
That was
college.
the expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been the expectation a lot of people have had.
Yeah.
But the truth behind that is that, like, I mean, for some people it it happens, but like
Yeah.
the reality is like there's percentages, and like that is sometimes not true.
Oh yeah, I was unemployed for 2 years after I graduated, and it was like in a field that I didn't get my degree in. So
Yeah.
you know, like, and I understand people that feel discouraged, especially for millennials, because that's what our parents told us. Because you know, like college, like there's nothing wrong with going to college to get an education, but at the same time, like we were still kind of kids in our brain. We were like, we go to college to get a job, right? But we didn't know exactly what we were going to do. And
Yeah.
I mean, a
That
majority
too.
of us didn't, because like a lot of us thought we had expectations, but then like we realized, oh, midway through, this is probably what I did not want to do. And then we realized we're too deep in the major. We just didn't want to change, because it's like, oh, dang, it cost me so much money to go here. I might as well just finish.
Right.
You know, like there, like I'm in that situation. I'm pretty sure if anyone's in the chat, like if you guys been in that situation, like, you know, you can tell us all your horror stories if you want. Yeah, like realization is not a bad thing as an adult. Like when you become older, you realize that yeah, life is tough as an adult, but at the same time, you like once you get to a certain point, you're allowing yourself to be more present. And I think that's the thing we have to bring back. It's like being able to be more present with your current situation and work with what the best you got, because that's really the best you can do as a human being. Like, sure, you might not be able to go on that expensive yacht and have like this expensive parties, and like maybe you have friends that are that rich, maybe, and hopefully maybe you guys do.
Yeah, I have. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like I have a cousin who's like, she's just, I mean, she's gone through things herself, but
right,
I have a cousin that's been just so lucky, like she has an actual form of like what's that called, OCD and ADHD and stuff, but
right.
it's like all of the friends she's met and the area she's lived in for like years, she's like, she has like a bunch of rich friends around her, and then like sometimes I'll hear that like I think she's probably gone to like over 5 or 7 like huge trips already in her lifetime, and she's like younger than me too. She's like in her 20s.
Oh,
And I'm
Wow.
like, yo, man, it is so I'm like, yo, it's really just like sometimes it's
so
random.
Is she living the crazy rich Asian life?
networking, yeah.
It's like a little bit, but you know, she also like, you know, she works hard, and like all of her friends are like a good percentage of them are with the government and stuff too.
Oh, okay.
So it's like there's a pattern to it, like that makes sense. But when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, yo, it's so wild, bro. Cause like,
what does she do?
She is she has UX experience. She's like, she does a lot of coding. She has computer experience. She's not completely IT. She's more on like the designer side. Like when
Yeah,
you go to
design.
websites and stuff.
A graphic designer?
It's not necessarily. It's like if you go to like websites, and then you know, like just like how the menus look, or how easy it is for you to like get through stuff and all that. She's a mixture. She has experience in making that, operations around that, and like managing that.
I think that's a web designer then.
But sort of, yeah. She has like, it's sort of like web design too, but
Yeah.
she's currently I think working out of her field right now. She's like she might be tied to insurance currently, like car insurance stuff, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Like her life too. Well, I won't say anymore just because I'm probably gonna dox her. But, yeah, it's her.
It's fine.
Her life is really crazy. But that's what I mean. Like, you never know what could happen, and
Right.
it's like circumstances just happened for some people that
Yeah.
like works out for them,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it's reversed, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
I hear a lot of horror stories too. So
yeah, like I think like this is the reason why I think like entrepreneurs and rich people, they would basically say hang out with people that are better than you, because like it's kind of like their influence in your life. And if like, I mean, if they're truly genuine, like don't hang out with people just because you know that you're going to get a networking advantage. I would say like hang out with people that genuinely vibe with, Like, you know, if they happen to be rich, they happen to be rich, and if they don't happen to be rich, then that's fine, because like you're creating something more. You're creating a spiritual circle around you that can like strengthen you in other ways besides finances, you know.
I've unfortunately I feel like I was in a
Mhm.
situation like that where I
Yeah, yeah,
felt bad. Like I
yeah.
felt like, you know, they were the person was very
Hmm.
financially stable,
Yeah.
and then they were offering me a lot of stuff like for
Hmm.
free, and
Hmm.
you know, I couldn't like take it because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I felt like I wasn't like allowed to, even though they said it was cool, and I might
Yeah.
have just like ruined our relationship that way because, you know,
Oh
they're
no, I
probably
think
like
yeah.
they're probably like, oh, he feels uneasy around me now, so like it's hard for us to
Uh,
communicate and all that stuff. Yeah.
nah, like I think it's like, you know, I think it's because like you wanted to be more principled about it, and that's why you were kind of like, um, you were just apprehensive with that, I
Right.
think. And you know that's normal because like you don't like the last thing that we humans want to do is owe anyone something, and at the same time, it's like I don't want to be tempted to actually feel like, oh, this person is willing to provide me something. I don't want to be getting into the temptation of like, should I rely on them for certain things? You know, because like that's the last thing you want to do, because it's like it could strain the relationship. So I
Right.
understand where you're coming from, because you know, like for people that like, you know, for people that actually don't care as much and they already have wealth, like, you know, they don't mind spending a little money on people that they're close to, because like it's sort of like to like, I guess for rich people, right? Like if they're gonna pay, let's say, like a trip to Japan, and they want to take their friend with them, but they know their friend is like middle class and they know that they can't save up as much money, they'll be like, yo, I'll pay for your trip, is like, I'll pay business class for you. And it's like, no, 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 don't do, like the friend that's middle class is like, no, 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 don't do that, because it makes it feel like it's a burden, like you owe them that money back. And they're like, no, I'm just willing to pay it, because it's like, to them it's like spending $50, and that's like business class and like, you know, like a hotel stay in Japan, you know. But to
Right.
us,
Mhm.
to us, it's an extravagant, it's an extravagant trip, right? Because we know
Yeah.
that we wouldn't get to that level. And I think it's like we don't think of it as sort of like it's an open door, like, you know how it is with jobs, like when a job opens its doors to you, you feel like that you have to take advantage of that opportunity. But
Right.
when it comes to like people providing for you, we don't think of it that way. We think of it as like, oh, I'm leeching off of this person because I'm not able to provide that for myself right now.
Yeah, or like, even if you can't provide financial help to them, there's other
Yeah,
ways you could help them. But it's
absolutely.
like, but you know, you won't be able, like, you can't think of anything. So it's
Yeah,
like, you know,
I think like
that's
when
when
it
things like that happen.
I think like when it also depends on the person, because there are some people that are very superficial, and they're like, yo, it's a free trip, I'm gonna go on a free trip, I don't care what anyone says, I want to go on this freaking free trip. But you know,
Right.
like for people that are like, you know, are more principled than that, like because I think that's what you were feeling at the
Yeah.
time with your friend, because it's sort of like, no, I don't want to burden them, I don't want to make it seem like I'm getting this thing from them and make it seem like our relationship is depending on what he can provide for me, you know. Like it's awkward, because you feel
Right.
as if like, oh dang, like I feel like I have to owe him something, or you know, like what can I provide, because this person has like so many things but I don't know what I provide. And I think it's all about knowing your value, and like how does that friend value you. And you don't really know, because it's not a really an easy question to ask, because it's
Right.
like, do I know this person long enough, can we actually talk about these things? Because you know, especially guys, because guys don't like to talk about that stuff, because it's like, oh, we're getting all mushy and emotional, I don't like it and everything. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mind talking about that stuff, but other guys, they get so apprehensive. It's like, yo, dude, why are you being soft on me? And I'm like, I'm not being freaking soft on you, bro. I just want to know how much of a bro am I to you, and why
I
am I a
think
bro?
I think the best like way of looking at it too is it's also like it puts guys don't want to be in a spot of weakness.
Right,
So it's
right.
like when you
Mhm.
talk about that stuff, it's very like it's talking about like the sensitive stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
like few things that I think universally wow, I'm butchering. Universally
It's
like
fine.
we all think is like a weak point, and I think
Right.
like that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't think it's it's not necessarily like the money, but
Yeah.
it's like the way of living.
Yeah.
Like oh, I don't want to seem like I'm living weaker than my friend, so I don't want
Right.
him like either I don't want to burden him, or I just
Mm-hmm.
don't want him to think about that stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true. Because people judge, and like you can't control what people analyze from you and your actions. Because a person
Right.
is, a person is like
Their own
the
being.
amalgamation of their choices, right? Like which choices did they make, and did those choices lead them to a result that makes them happy, or is it like led them a downward slope where it's like they made these choices because like, you know, they either felt like they were really low in life, or they made the decision to actually change their life for the better. You know, you never know. And people have
Right.
different variations of how to judge certain actions. Even though it was good for you, another person could look at it as like, oh, you could do so much better. and they
Yeah,
look at you
exactly,
with,
yeah.
and they look at you in spite, or they look at you as like with the eye rolling thing, and it's like like you can't please everybody, unfortunately.
Right.
But that's actually really great input. I really like. See, this is why I have these guys on the podcast, guys, because like, you know, they are the bros that I can actually get, like, that can challenge me, in addition to actually like say stuff that basically will blow my mind, and hopefully it blew your mind when John was giving insights and when Rainier was giving insights, though. But yeah, but I think that also goes into like because we were talking about being pulled on multiple sides, right? So I think we can go into a little bit about what it's like for guys, right? Like, because for guys, I feel like they're so stuck in like what exactly is a masculinity that's appropriate for society, and like we and guys, I know that there's such thing as toxic masculinity. Believe me, I talk about it like probably once or twice. But what I noticed with certain guys is that they kind of are at risk of falling into the toxic side, but they don't think it's the toxic side because they think this is how guys are for centuries. But at the same time, like, I've also read books on like what it means to have like the healthy masculinity, like that I feel like I want to work up to. But it's not easy because a lot of guys will poo-poo it a lot. They will think like, oh, you're gone soft, or like, why are you being so sensitive and all that stuff. Like, so I think we can talk about that now. I think like it's like what John said, is that like guys feel like they don't want to show that they're weak and vulnerable, and it's really hard because like for dating it's also a thing, because like let's say if for straight men, for example, it's hard for straight men to be vulnerable and balance it by just being vulnerable but not being a like a total wreck. And that's the hard balance, because if you let a guy be vulnerable, he will be a wreck, because
Well, there's a lot of skepticism, right? When
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes to like being vulnerable. Is
right,
that
right.
from the guy's side, it's more like you got to be cautious about who you open up to, because
Right.
oftentimes it could be weaponized against you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And the weird thing is like that's not like that happens to women too, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it's like I think it well, one way of looking at it I think is like for women, I think they're used to it, I guess. Like that's something that just I guess based off media and stuff. That's
Like,
what
they
I'm
play
basing
that game almost
Yeah,
on a
that
constant basis.
all the way, yeah, all the time. And it's just like with guys, I think it's like I mean, you know, we see it as underhanded, but it's like
Yeah.
very I don't think it's something a lot of guys really do. So
Yeah.
then like when a guy, and like any guy could do it, so when you see a guy actually do it,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, that son of a bitch fucking betrayed me.
Yeah.
that type of thing.
I think when it comes to like when it comes to like guy dynamics, we always tend to like, we try to one up each other just to basically be better. It's like the coach that basically says, oh, I'm doing this good in life, like when you learn from me you'll get to this point, and I'm gonna make you thirsty for it, I'm gonna make you hungry for it, you know, that sort of thing. And like guys really love it when they solve problems. They love the fact that they can solve problems and be powerful solving problems, you know.
Here's a
Mhm.
question: how many guys, you know, and your personal desires too, that would want to have start a family?
Before I answer that question, or at least Kev is in the chat, John, and he basically says, I always one up John.
Oh, hello, Kevin. See, this is a good example. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's like there you go. Yeah, like I'm sure Kevin has some input on some of these things, but yeah, it's like that. Like we're just kidding around, but then
Mhm.
like I've seen it too many times where I'm not gonna say it's only in the Filipino community, but it's only because I've been around so many Filipino males growing up.
Mhm.
It's such a huge thing in some Filipino circles where
Right.
like there's we have something called tagai, which is like it's like the actual act, but it's also sort of like a metaphor where it's like tagai is like when you get one cup and then you pour alcohol in that cup and everybody shares that cup. It's kind of like a show of like friendship or brotherhood or whatever.
Right.
But it's like that's how close like a lot of flip guys can become, and I'm sure all other male races and stuff, but this is just coming from my experience.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like a lot of guys like will bond over that, right? So like we're brothers and stuff like that. So
Right.
then people will open up to them, but then like something fucked up could happen to one of them, like like their girlfriend cheats on them or something, and then like one guy like might just like use that as like a weapon or something, or maybe
Yeah.
not even intentionally, and then like something might happen between them, something stupid, like he steps on his shoes or whatever. So they start
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
start like yelling at each other, and then the
Oh,
other guy
yeah,
will
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, well at least my girlfriend didn't cheat on me, and it's like
Yeah.
that's like that wasn't supposed to be like mentioned
Yeah,
publicly.
I think that's when we actually enter in the realm of what it means to be toxic when it comes to like masculinity. Because I think
Right.
I understand for guys, it's like they poke fun at each other's like misgivings or like the events in their life, and basically like, well, I'm telling you this because I want you to get past it. But at the same time, it's not up to you to do that. Like, as the friend, right? It's up to the person that actually experienced that. That's up to them. And sometimes
Right.
people don't get over it, but at the same time, it's like it's not your business to control whether they get over it or not. But like as a friend, you feel like concerned because you feel as if like, oh, I'm doing this to motivate them, and the only way that we guys get motivated is if we get down on our butt and basically like imagine like a rain falling upon this person is like, yo, that guy is down in a puddle, and I'm gonna make sure that he feels the rain pouring until he gets up and actually knows what he's going to do next. Like it's this like dramatization of like, yo, he's gonna get out from the shitter and actually get back up and become stronger. Like that's how guys fantasize it all the time.
Yeah, and it's sometimes also it's like that guy that would also blurt that thing out.
Yeah.
Sometimes like he wouldn't even mean it, but because like the damage is already done,
Yeah.
and like maybe he either doesn't know how to apologize, or like he's like, oh, maybe that dude will just move on, like he's
Oh,
he
yeah,
has the
yeah.
right to be mad, but maybe he'll move on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
nothing is resolved, so then it just like it potentially could get worse.
Yeah. And
This
what's
is like pride.
and what's
Right.
worse is that if the person that said it didn't mean it, but they're also a stonewaller. So basically, when you actually bring it up to them, it's like, yo, what the freak, man? Like, that's freaking like effed up. And then like, like the guy would be like, oh, yo, it's not my fault that I'm negatively affected by it.
Right.
They would stonewall, and then like everyone in the circle would probably agree, yo, that was effed up for what you just said. It's like, yo, it's not my fault that that he can't take the truth. Because this is the thing, like I understand when people are blunt, they really want to tell you what they think is true, but it's just a perception. It's not really based on like observable reality. But for the person that I guess is quote unquote blunt, they will say that, oh, it's the truth, but in actuality, it's just their observation of the situation. And like, I think that's the thing that guys struggle with the most, because they feel like as if like, oh, I have to have this facade of stoicism that allows me to be an observer that's like God. And in actuality, you're not. And that's why people get pissed when people are blunt, because it's like, yo, like you're trying to say it from like a perspective that is just yours, but a lot of people feel as if like you're saying it as if it's just God ordained you to say that, and basically like God's observation came to your head and you just said it out of your mouth. Like, you
Right.
get what I mean? You get what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I
It's okay.
guess.
like this is the thing. Like John either has to poop or he has gas. That's literally the whole thing. This is why I love him. He's one of my best friends.
I don't. It's like I don't really fart, but when I get gassy, I get like a lot of burp.
Don't worry, we didn't
sometimes
hear
it's
it.
hard for me. It's hard for me to talk.
What about you, Rainier? Do you have anything to say about this topic?
Toxic masculinity. It's definitely unique. Yeah, like I think it manifests differently from like women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like men's, it's like we learn from our ancestors, and our ancestors, like the previous generations are more raised traditionally. Maybe they had like strict parents or something like that.
Right.
And it's like you're often taught to just like keep it
Mm-hmm.
to yourself. That's like the mature way to be stoic, right? Even
Yeah.
today, there's a lot of like influencers that like preach stoicism and be your own person. But
Right.
yeah, I think we
Which is
definitely
not a
need to
bad
shy
thing.
away
Which is
from
not a
it.
bad thing. Being your own person is usually like the best thing. It's just that I think when it comes down to being your own person, you have to really be honest with yourself, but it can lead you into a rabbit hole where it's like, am I being my own person, or am I just being the influence of what I think my own person should be? That's a deep question. And not many people are willing to ask that question. Kev says, average marriage versus more freedom of choices. Yeah. Arranged marriage versus more freedom of choice. Yeah. Of course.
Less arranged
Right.
marriage nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about like the flip side of that, right? I don't know if you guys been hearing about the birth rate crisis all throughout the developed world. Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, even with like, of course, South Korea and Japan is like the most infamous, but
Yeah.
I
Right.
believe it's happening everywhere. Like even
Oh, yeah.
Thailand's having that same crisis.
That's why like a lot of people say that the generations after us, like they're like, yo, they don't want kids. And like, who would want kids? And I don't blame them, because
Right.
it's expensive to have children.
in this
but-
economy.
Yeah, in this economy, and like everyone's like, oh, you're not working hard enough so you can actually provide for kids. It's like, bro, like, we have so many things going on. Like, we have to worry about AI taking jobs, and we have to worry about what jobs are going to be available, in addition to like we have student debt to worry about if we're like leaving university, or like, some of us are just like, how do we cope with it? Like, how do we cope with this ever-changing environment? Because I think this is why like a lot of people are being scared about what economic system is going to come next, because I have never seen the divide between like people that are into socialism and into capitalism this wide before. And I feel like there's going to be a new system, but it's not going to be the system in which people think it is, because like, I feel like it is going to be a hybrid of capitalism, but it depends on what path we go for. If we continue on with the profit-seeking capitalism, yeah, it'll be a dystopia. But if it's going to be like a capitalism that actually kind of like benefits people and like actually maintains the morality of humankind, then the sky's the limit at that point. I'm optimistic, but at the same time, like, a lot of people that are realists, they'll probably tell me that I'm wrong, and I will accept that. But like I've said on the podcast many times, I'm willing to be the optimist that is willing to admit they're wrong.
Well, sometimes capitalism is kind of heartless, and some of the problem kind of stems from that.
Yeah.
Like capitalism is good
In some aspects, yes, and I have nothing
right?
against that. Yeah,
you need competition. You need like a profit motive. I think is kind of like the most closest to true human nature in terms of economic system that we know right now. Right? I think like deep down, people are a lot more capitalistic in their like personal view of the world rather than communistic.
Yeah.
Like we definitely judge like money and wages and salary.
I think it depends on what it taps into, because like, capitalism works with an individual perspective. That's why it works so well in the West. But when it comes to like, more collectivist societies, like that's why it's sort of like they're not bad. It's not bad or good, right, guys? I know when we hear the term socialism, like everyone freaks out. It's like, no, you're thinking like they think about like, Stalin communism, and I get why people are scared for that.
None of the systems are inherently bad or good. It's
just an idea that humans thought of. Yeah.
It's the application of said economic system that can be bad or good. And with capitalism, the pitfalls, I feel like, it's just the pursuit of profit. Sometimes people or corporations are throwing away ethics and morals just to chase more money.
Like the point I wanted to make is that capitalism taps into our ability to want to succeed for our own individual needs and our own individual achievement and fulfillment. That is not a bad thing. For socialism, it enhances another side of us, of our humanity, where it's like we have morals, we have our obligation to provide for our neighbors, our communities, our our countries, like those are very noble things. So both of these ideas come from like noble pursuits of human nature. So like what you said, Rainier, like yeah, like people feel like they're more capitalistic, but that's from an individualistic perspective. But at the same time, they're also a little bit socialist in their own mind, because we have social we have social programs like the police and the fire department to make sure that we're safe and maintain our communities and make sure that we can rebuild. So I feel as if like finding that perfect balance of like, where is it that we can actually maintain our morals but have like an ability to provide competition where it's healthy, not like, oh, if I was born to this family, I have an advantage over you because I have more money and I can start earlier. A lot of people like the world is not fair, and I will agree with people that say that. But at the same time, is there a way to balance it where it's like we have equal opportunity, but it doesn't feel like it has to be in the survivalist mode where it's like, oh, I gotta get this because I gotta freaking like be a freaking carnivore and freaking eat everything in front of me before I die, like, because I think that's what people are tired of, because it's like they work so hard, like if they have like 3 jobs and yet they can't have enough money to put food on the table. A lot of people will say, oh, that's on you. Is it really? Like it's like these types of questions, and like I think it's people are trying to judge who is accountable for what. Is it the system or is it the individual? And I think that's where it gets complicated, which is what the topic of this podcast is. It's like being pulled in multiple directions. Sometimes you're just stuck in like where you're feeling like you're being pulled in multiple directions at once.
I think it's like I can't trust rich people to trickle down their wealth down.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I'm a lot more like, even when I don't fully trust the government, I think it's the only way.
Yeah.
That you can like try to have some semblance of balance in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd rather, hope that like, we say tax more and then kind of redistribute that and use the government as a redistribution.
Yeah.
Rather than expecting rich people to like, I don't know, pay their laborers a lot more.
Yeah.
I feel like the capitalistic pressure is always the opposite, because labor is seen as a balance sheet. It's like a number in the balance sheet.
Right.
That's to be suppressed and lowered as much as possible.
Oh yeah, because like you make money by just having the cheapest like resources.
I mean, it's just like most of us are kind of like, if you think about like, say you need a job done and you're trying to hire someone. I don't know. Say if you have a house and you trying to hire someone to mow the lawn, you're probably gonna want to pay them as little as you can get away with. I mean, if you could get away with free, you'd probably do it. But
Yeah, I get that, and
you
like
scale.
No, and like in Wall Street, that's good business. That's why, like, when people like on Wall Street hear that Amazon is getting rid of a good portion of their workforce in order to make room for AI to take over, like to Wall Street and executives, like they clap. It's like, yo, they're gonna make so much. They're gonna make so much profits.
Meta lays off 7,000 people.
And people look at that and you're like, yo, this is why rich people are effed up. It's like they want us to be unemployed so they can have higher profits. Like, what the freak? Like it's messed up, and like I don't blame like the average person. Basically, like, yo, rich people are evil. It's like, why are they clapping for that?
The control really is in the shareholders, right, and the board of directors and stuff like that. And you could say CEO kind of right under them. And the motivation is to make money. Like give us a CEO that can give us the most money. Doesn't matter how they get there. Short term usually, and sometimes that's a problem. It's like they chase short-term profit too much.
And it's kind of funny because I remember watching the podcast I just told you about, the Diaries of the CEO, with these two entrepreneurs with two different points of view. They agree on a lot of things, but at the same time they just don't know how to get there. I think like what the CEO that believes in like changing government policy, he said, is that you can't have big business without big government. It doesn't work. And when I think about it, I was like, yo, that's the first time I've ever heard an entrepreneur say that. And I think that makes a lot of sense because it's like
Does
you
I just thought about it too.
yeah, you can't have a big economy without a big government to basically maintain it. It's not realistic. Like, so you're going to have bigger, if you have a lot of business, you're going to have a lot of government institutions that actually manage it. Like, not manage the businesses, but manage how it comes in and how it works in economy so that the people can work and actually have resources through those jobs that are created.
This might
know.
be like a stretch, but
Yeah,
it's
go on.
like an example of like a setting where big business is like surpassed big government
Yeah.
is actually, I think, cyberpunk. Like it's a fictional realm, right? But because there's so many corporations and they're like all super rich and they basically take control of everything,
Right.
that's like, I think that's like what it is to have like big business like
Yeah.
completely overlap the government. Like
Mhm.
basically the corporations are the ones under control of everything. So it's like, if you don't think it's good or you don't think it's bad, think about how like they could just like if you played the game, and you know it's fictional, but if you
Right.
play the game or if you play the tabletop and stuff like that, like you could get hired one day just to literally get paid to kill another corporate person, and then your reward is you get their position. So it's like there's no morals in that. There's no like, why did he get my resume if like that's what I was gonna get hired for? It doesn't matter because like they're the ones making the rules and they're the ones making the law. So it doesn't matter like what your questions are. If you follow it, you get rewarded. If you don't, something worse might happen to you.
It's kind of like the skepticism nowadays, right? When it comes to our political system, is that like you have too much influence by, you know, the rich or the corporations and people that have money, have like influencing our politicians who, you know, theoretically is supposed to work for us, but they're getting lobbied and they're supporting things that the American people don't really want to support.
Yeah, and
Right.
and like that's basically like we don't know what it's like in other countries, guys. So if you're from another country, please tell us what your situation is.
Or
and, you know,
another grim thing is that they're almost manufacturing opinions based on how they want the opinions to be. So like it's almost like the population that votes are like sheep, and you have like shepherds, you know. In this two-party system, you only have two shepherds essentially,
right?
And they're like trying to shepherd all the sheeps to go one way or the other. And once you're, you know, it's hard to come up with, because we only have two choices, and it's like it's impossible to really get out of like,
and I think like I think like nowadays, because of the political climate nowadays, I think a lot of people, when they heard the president once said that he would be I forgot what it was, like I think when he met the King of England, like he said something that was really off-putting, like it was off the cuff. I think he said like the United States wouldn't mind joining Great Britain again, and everyone lost it. Everyone freaking lost it, because that's what built our country. I mean, when you think about it, right? When you think about it, it's like, you know what? Like, because like Canada already is a commonwealth of Great Britain. I mean, the UK. I shouldn't say Great Britain, but I think like the UK in general. I think a lot of Americans would be like, yo, take us back, please, so we don't have to deal with our politicians anymore.
Lamau.
It's like both sides would probably agree. It's like, yo, take us back. We want... No, I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying everybody, but you know, like people that love Great Britain now, it's like
kind of rough.
It's kind of like, yo, we're the poor, like, because Great Britain is supposed to be the most. If it was a state in the United States, it would be the poorest state, which surprised me. I'm like, wow, the UK is poorer than Mississippi.
They're even in a bigger trouble than the US, I think. It's kind of it's rough to say that. It's like the parliamentary system right now, and the Tories haven't done shit. It's just they're in trouble.
I think it's because like the United States has the power of being the financial capital of the world, and like I'm not saying this to basically be like a patriotic American or whatever. I'm just basically saying based on what we've gotten from the data. Because like it is true, the reason why it's easy, like I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to get rich here than it is in other countries. Like, I mean, like, people can argue with me about that because I don't know what it's like in other countries.
I mean, we have a lot more capital here in general.
We have,
a lot
it's
more
easier to,
investors
like, I would
here.
say it's easier to start a business and try to make a profit off of it quicker than, say,
Mhm.
other countries.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like you have everything that the market needs, right? You
Yeah.
have a big demand, which is a big market.
yeah.
You have theoretically less regulations
Mhm.
compared to a lot of like the EU or the China.
Mhm.
You have a lot of capital and investors here. You could just talk, go to Silicon Valley and
Right.
talk to investors over there, and they can fund you. Or you
Mhm.
could get a loan from a bank, and
Yeah.
the banks have kind of a lot of money to like loan out to people.
Okay. Okay, it's like around 9, guys. I think we can take like a quick bathroom break right now. So we will be right back, like in I would say like about 2 minutes. So BRBs, guys.
Okay.
Alright, guys. Like, I'm back, but I'm just waiting for my co-host.
Okay, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys ready to go?
We're ready.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that's really short. But hopefully you guys had your ability to use the restroom, because if we have hopefully we have some tidbits that you can gain some, I guess, good perspective on, because that's what these podcasts are. They're just basically meant for perspective, and it's our own opinions. Sometimes I feel like I talk too much during these podcasts, but at the same time, I don't know if that bothers Rainier and John whenever I do it, because I think Rainier has said that he doesn't mind me ranting, but I don't know. I want to make sure that they get enough talk time.
It's also your podcast, man. It's like your, it's your input stuffs.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that you guys are being listened to.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, because I'm not a very good podcaster, guys. I will say that for sure. But I tried my best to listen to my co-hosts, and if we're lucky to get guests in here, I doubt it. But at the same time, I wouldn't even know what we talk about with our guests, unless it's about their life and their story. That would be cool. But getting back to what we were discussing, right? I know that discussion probably felt very gloomy because we were talking about what's going on in the world, but at the same time, it's that's why I brought up this topic, because it's hard for you to be optimistic, because especially if you're a young person that's got out of college and you feel as if, dang, AI is going to take all the entry level jobs away, and what am I supposed to do? And you want to be someone that is able to get where they want to be, and it's really hard to navigate that, especially when you're young. But when I think about it, I thought about how I envisioned myself when I was younger, and I thought, where would I be when I was the age I am now? And I thought I was going to be an English teacher in Japan when I was in high school, or I thought I would be I thought I would be teaching Japanese in my own high school. But I didn't turn out to be any of those things. So, but I would like to ask Rainier and John what they thought they were going to be at, when they were in high school, compared to where they are now.
I think. Well, it's sort of a joke. I mean, this is just one thing. It's sort of a joke, but it's also I think the reason why I came to that conclusion is just because at the time I didn't really know where life was gonna head, but
Right.
some of me thinks I should have been dead. Just because
wow, that was morbid.
Yeah, it sounds morbid, but it's more like since we would do crazy stuff all the time in high school, not like super wild. It's not like I was
Like
injecting like
parkour.
20 million drugs and stuff. Yeah, like I used to be really into like parkour. Like there were times where like I would reflect about like what I like or what I'm obsessed with, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was almost like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
So like I thought that was gonna like kind of like take my life away or something one day, but um
He
it's
means that
actually
by
like when I got
accident, not on purpose. He means
yeah,
by
yeah, yeah,
accident,
yeah. Like you know, like a failed stunt or something like that, or like
like a stunt
pursuing
man.
something, yeah, or like pursuing something crazy, like scuba diving in like the wrong hole, and there's like all the air pressure stuff that happens.
Mm.
But yeah, that was like that was one thing. I remember when I was like 12 or 13 or something,
Yeah.
I had a dream where I wanted to like pursue because I took like it's really shitty karate. I mean, I'm not saying YMCA karate is shitty, but I
Mm-hmm.
took YMCA karate when I was a kid,
Right.
and I wanted to pursue karate itself because like I just feel like it's not like I have like tons of experience in martial arts, but when I was younger, I used to read like a lot of books about it. I used to watch tons of, you know, movies and reality are different, but I
Right.
used to be like really into the culture, and like growing up, I thought I was gonna take like a turn where I was gonna like try to pursue martial arts as like a lifestyle, like
Mm-hmm.
beyond a career.
Right.
And I even like I remember talking to my friends and stuff that like I wanted to go to Japan, and then the way I would live there is like at first I would just like live at like hostels or like you know like cheap places,
Right.
but I would slowly like I would take like dojo names, like the
Mm-hmm.
wooden dojo signs,
Yeah.
and then because that used to be like something like back like a long time ago, that used to be something where you would get paid to do that
Yeah.
and like to do that type of martial arts stuff. And then as a kid, you know, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand what the signs, like what you were supposed to do with the signs, if you're supposed to sell them or something for money.
Right.
And then I wanted to be like some grand fighter in Japan and like get a mansion and stuff and then like live that type of lifestyle.
I
But
mean,
yeah, very
you're in
different.
high school, like like you feel like
Hmm.
you feel like you have enough
Unstoppable.
time. Yeah, you feel unstoppable, and you feel like you have a lot of time on your hands. But that's a I mean when I mean that's a really awesome like dream, like the way to envision it, because I think like having those like when you're young is so inspiring because you feel as if like yeah, like even though like you might not achieve it, it's still something that you kind of look back on. You're like, wow, I had so much vision back then, or like I had so much like when I look at back then, like I had a very milk toast vision of my future, because like it's like being a teacher or whatnot, but I didn't end up being that. But like realizing the reality of what the career path goes through to be that thing, you realize, oh wow, I have so much ambition. And I think having the dream itself is just ambitious enough, which is why like adults, like when they have a family and have kids, or when they're at a point where they can look at life and reflect and they don't mind the reflection, it makes it feel as if like, oh yeah, dang, I had such an imagination when I was younger. But
Right.
Rainier, what about you?
Well, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a pharmacist. That's this kind of stuff I tried to get into college
Oh
for.
yeah, I remember you told me about that when you were in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cut and dry, you know. You go to college, you become a
Mhm.
pharmacist, and earn like decent money.
Mhm.
But I found out I wasn't so smart. Like straight up, I I applied to I think John Hopkins. I forgot what it was called. It was like it had Johns in it in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't even consider. They even look at my thing because they said that, oh, your SAT is below the cutoff. So like, oh
Oh,
shoot.
okay.
And then I applied to one in New Jersey and didn't get in either. So
Yeah.
you know kind of
Maybe that was maybe that was what the universe said. It's like, yo, you're gonna meet this dude
right.
Peter, and he's gonna be like, you're gonna start a podcast together.
I mean, I
Like,
still ended up being in STEM, and
yeah.
it's okay, but I'm just living
Yeah.
like a normal life now.
Yeah,
compared to
I'm
some-
really glad that I met you though. So I'm glad you didn't get into John Hopkins, because then I could have reached you, and then we wouldn't have this podcast.
What was
But
very interesting for me is the realization of how much money is, and I feel like I didn't really get it until my first paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Me too.
I would work all of these like part-time jobs when I was in college, and
Uh-huh.
I had the idea that these are like very little. These are like minimum wage or almost minimum wage.
Yeah.
But I always had in my head like, oh, this isn't like my field. I'm
Right.
going to college to get a degree, so I get a much higher wage than this.
Yeah.
So you always have it in mind that, oh yeah, you're gonna get a good upgrade in pay. And then
Yeah.
I got my first job in the field, and I was getting, at that time it was like $17 an hour,
Right.
and I was just like, wait, this is it?
Yeah.
Question mark, like this
Yeah.
this is
Like,
it.
yeah, and what's like, I think this is the part where like it kind of sucks to be an adult, because you realize all the cool jobs that like are out there. Like, yeah, some of them do pay well, don't get me wrong, but when you actually look at like the salary of a scientist, you realize like, wait, that's it. Like,
That's it. And then like
like-
you contrast that with your increasing expenses, like like how much rent would be if you were to live alone, and
Yeah.
how much grocery and cars
Right.
would be, and payment, and you start paying student loans at that time, and you're just
Yeah.
like, damn, after car loans, after student loans, this is what's left in your paycheck. It's like barely
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the thing of it is that like that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I didn't move out, because of stuff like that, where it's like I think what people go through when they move out, they go through something called I don't know if there's a term for it, but I would call it individualism shock, where it's like they actually become the individual they want. Oh no, I would think I would call it independence shock, where they realize that, oh dang, a lot of things that I wanted to make myself comfortable or live the standard that my parents raised me with is a lot more expensive than I thought, and to keep up with like everyone around me, like say going out all the time, or like eating out whenever they call me out, keeping up appearances and stuff, that's very expensive. And like that's why like the quote, it's more expensive to be poor than rich, makes so much sense to me. Like you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think the like, I hate to use the term rude awakenings, but unfortunately in life you're gonna have to get those. But at the same time, like a lot of people think that they know what rude awakenings will occur in your life, but every individual is different, and every individual will have a different, I guess like, it's not like culture shock, but sort of like a realization shock, where it's like they realize that things are not what they appear to be in that way. So yeah, and I think that's another reason why people feel like they're being pulled at the ends when it comes to life. And like that's nothing wrong with that, that's a part of growing up. You will encounter situations where you don't know what to do, but you will do the best you can, and it will fit neatly with the way you kind of structure your life, or maybe it won't, but you learn from that. And sometimes learning from like the stuff that don't work is the hardest thing to do,
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's like that proper balance. Like I think society in general and people in general, we try to seek a life that's like more about proper balance, and it's just so hard because you just don't know what is enough. Like what is enough money to you? What is enough friends to you? What is enough love or enough people in your family to feel like you're being supported, like in all ends? I think that's like the hard thing to do, because we always feel like we want more, sure, but at the same time it's like in Harry Potter, in the first book, when he looks at the mirror of Erised, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's like the main character looks into a mirror, and the mirror shows his deepest and desperate desire. And I think like what most people don't ask is that if I were to look in the mirror of Erised, what would I see based on my current life right now? I mean, what do you guys want to give an answer for that?
Mine's probably money, but in a different reason.
Like,
What was the question?
so, in Harry Potter, there's this mirror called the Mirror of Erised, which is basically, Harry looks into the mirror, and it basically shows his deepest and most desperate desire. So for him, it was his parents. He wanted his parents to be alive, so he saw his parents in the mirror. So my question is that if you were to look into the mirror of Erised, what would be the deepest and most desperate desire that you think you would see?
Hmm.
It's a very hard question to ask because then you start like, yeah, some people will be like, yeah, I want more wealth, I want more this and more that. But if you're really honest with yourself, you kind of realize that it kind of isn't that. It might be something much more deeper, unless you're not willing to be like looking into those avenues.
It's probably everyone I care about being immortal.
Why would that be your deepest and most desperate desire?
Because death is inevitable, and
Mhm.
like a lot of the things, like I guess for me too. I mean, yeah, I'm the guy that's talking about it, but
Yeah.
it's like a lot of the things that I do is usually for like people, or like, you know, it's kind of just like to say it that way, it sounds like I'm a people pleaser, but it's kind of just like, you know, why do I want to like earn more, right? It's
Right,
like
right.
it'll help me survive, and then I could also play more games, sure, but then it also means like that's an additional security for like my family or friends and stuff when they need
Mhm.
help or something like that.
Mhm.
So like, um,
So
if
your deepest and most desperate desire is just to maintain the inner circle that you have now.
I suppose, yeah, or like not just maintain it, just keep them alive, like just like not for them to die, because like you
Mhm.
know, like I said before, death is inevitable.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like I'm pretty positive once certain, like when a good amount of people in my life probably pass away, or even specific ones,
Right.
my behavior is gonna change,
So
and it's
so
like
so I'm guessing like basically what you desire and it's like what's the desperate desire in your life that you want, like based on what you said, it seems like you just want familiar support. You just basically want the familiar support to be solidified so it doesn't go away.
it's more of like just seeing that they're there, like
Hmm.
like um
Like they'll be there when you need them, basically.
not necessarily even like, yeah, I suppose so, but then it's just like it just knowing that they're there, because like
Mm-hmm.
even like let's say that I have a fallout with like everybody I care about or whatever, which is pretty sad, but like
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish them death, and it's like for
Yeah.
them to die is already something entirely different, like a
Right.
different type of pain. I just don't want to experience that, but it's
Right.
also, you know, it's an inevitability that all of us have to experience.
No, I mean that's a very honest answer. You know, like I'm kind of glad you shared that with us because I wouldn't have guessed that, which is a pretty interesting example.
Yeah, it's because I mean money is important and all that
Right,
stuff,
right.
but
Of
it's
course,
like that's usually for me it's that's like usually like a resource to gain the thing that I want.
yeah.
And
Right.
I think money would be great because it would help me cover like a lot of things, but there's certain things that money can't buy, you know.
Yeah, 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 of course, yeah. And that's not like,
Until our technology is great.
yeah, no, I get that. And I know some people in the chat will be like, yeah, but like with money, I don't have to worry about certain things and stuff. Yeah, sure, of course. But like, I think like the thing is that there's always ways to make money. Will you make enough of it? That's up to the individual. And sometimes like people are like, what is enough? And they don't even have that number in their head, right? So, like John's example, I think is like it's a very internal example, I think. And, like I'm kind of glad you shared that with us, John. And of course, Rainier's answer is also appropriate because like he's living on his own. He's like also working on his own. Like he doesn't have student debt anymore holding him back. So, like now he can actually have money to like play with and try
I
to
want
like
money.
just to utilize his life. And
But I want money not for materialistic consumption. I want it so that I could not be bound to working. 'Cause I
right,
feel
yeah,
like
exactly.
Fair.
we waste too much of
So
our
I think like the
quality
way
life.
I think what you would see in the mirror is just basically you just living the life that you want. Like, just like living like a life of experiences that you want to experience, I think. Like
Sure,
I think
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think for because I think when you said your answer, like most people would think of, oh, he's seeing himself with money raining down, like as if he's in a
It's not
as
even
if,
it to like
you know.
live a Michelin, you go to Michelin restaurants every day, kind of like
It's
you're
just
in
the
a
freedom
yacht.
of it, like the
It's the
freedom of
freedom
actually.
of not working, because sometimes you're forced to work, right? Like a
Right.
work is
Right.
literally forcing, right? Like you
Yeah,
have to
pretty
wake up
much.
at a
Yeah.
certain time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Um,
that person is like driven to work just to like to kill time or something.
yeah,
Like
but I feel
Right.
like there's still some like force to it in terms like, oh, there's either a schedule or something. It's still
Right.
against your wishes, right?
Yeah, it's
Right,
not
right.
yours. It's not your schedule. It's someone else's schedule.
Yeah, someone
Right.
else's schedule, someone
Yeah.
else's like just doing work by itself. It's like
Right.
there are definitely some things
Yeah.
that you won't like to do that you're forced to do.
Yeah.
And I want to just have the option to like, if I want, I
Not
just
worry
work
about
part
that.
time or
Yeah.
like work volunteer or
Right.
use a lot of my quality time to for other things like spending time with friends and
Friends and
family
family.
and traveling and hiking and all the
And
experiences that
and
we
doing
have
this podcast.
doing this podcast.
And doing this
Of
podcast. But I mean, if Rainier loves doing the podcast, that's why I ask him first because
in a way that like that's kind of how I correlate money and work. Is
of
that
course,
I feel like
yeah. That's the
feel like-
purpose of wealth for you. It's like, and everyone else, I think, it's like the main
Yes,
priority
yes.
is experience. It's experiences because you're not getting any younger.
I just think that like if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you don't have money and you have all these loans and you have student loans, you have a big mortgage to pay
Right.
or blah blah blah. I feel like certain people get into the mindset that like they can't afford to lose the job, and I feel
Yeah.
like if you get into that mindset, you pretty much becomes a slave. in
Yeah,
my
you
opinion.
pretty much are lost at that
Like
point.
the company can abuse you as much as they can because you're desperate, right?
Yeah,
If
you
you're
don't have
desperate,
leverage.
Exactly. If you put yourself in a situation where you do not have leverage,
Hmm.
then you're like hanging on by a thin thread.
Yeah, and that's where that survival mode gets in. And there's nothing wrong with being in survival mode. It's just that, when people are in survival mode, they can either like have it fuel them with a burning passion and they get out of it and even more. But from what I experience, whenever people are in survival mode, they get very bitter and they become cheapskates and they stop living in the present. And I get it because some of them have loans to pay, some of them just like overspend themselves because they were trying to keep up appearances, because they're with people that constantly make them feel bad about not having certain privileges. I think that's the reason why a lot of people that are in middle class, they get caught in these traps where it's like, I have to prove my appearance and prove my dedication to this person, like going to their weddings or going to their friend's wedding that I don't even know. All this. It's just to keep up appearances and stuff. Or I have to buy this car to show that I like the car, but at the same time, like to show my friends, like, oh, I can buy nice things. Like, even though it might be considered like probably like not very responsible at certain times. Because that's why a lot of people like buy things like expensive cars, expensive watches, and all that stuff. But I'm glad you actually shared that. Elaborated on your choice, Rainier. Actually,
Indeed.
yeah, because I think that's the main important thing is like, so since you guys gave your answers, I probably should give my answer. But yeah, like Rainier said, like he has to work. Like for me, I am in a position where he wants to be at, I guess, like a little bit, like, but obviously you're living in your own place and you don't have to worry about I mean, you do take care of your parent, your mom, and I think like look after your brother when he needs it, right? Because like your
True.
family's in your state now, right?
Yep, it's in my vicinity.
Yeah, so, but at the same time, you have you feel like you're independent and you just want to be financially like free in your own independence. So for me, I would say that if I were to look in the mirror, I would say I would see me enjoying time with my friends, but experiencing a new experience with them. Like, like out of all my friends, I think John and my best friend Kev would probably do new experiences with me the most. Because if we were to go somewhere new, we would probably try it out, and if we didn't like it, we say we didn't like it, but we did it anyway. I mean, like, I would probably see us doing bungee jumping.
Nice.
I mean, I know John would do it, but I don't know if Kev would do it.
I am hesitant of bungee jumping, but like I get it too.
Yeah. But I think for me, I would probably see myself like being with my friends and experiencing new experiences, but also being able to socialize with people that I vibe with, like being able to like meet new friends like effortlessly. But these friends are going to be the friends that I make for a lifetime.
Yes.
I think that's basically not that I like, not that I don't appreciate the friends that I have now, but at the same time, like, I think the reason why people get lonely is because they feel as if they can't meet the friends that they met before if they already have friends, because it feels as if like, wow, I built my friend's relationship for years. How am I supposed to get that same connection with someone else that I know I can vibe with, you know? It doesn't have to be a romantic thing, but it could also be like, how can I make a platonic relationship with a person that I think I want to vibe with and will have a long-lasting relationship with? And that's hard to do, especially when you're an adult. But I think that's the thing about me, where it's like, okay, if this is a desperate desire of mine, I have to think about what can I do to put myself out there to actually like make that not an issue anymore. Because the whole point of like this exercise is basically like looking at ourselves and asking, okay, if this is a deep, desperate desire of mine, what is it that I need to do in order to not worry about that thing or get closer to that thing? And it doesn't have to be like completely like 100% achievable. It has to be like feels as if you actually fulfilled something in you. And I think that's the main objective here, because like Rainier said, life is about experiences. That's why you want to make a lot of money, because you want to have money to basically have the freedom to do the experiences that you kind of envision for yourself. Because as a kid, you're like, what is the cool things that I can do that I didn't think money was a factor? And then when you think about it, it kind of involves money, but at the same time, it's like, what is it that I can do as an adult with all this money in my pocket that I can actually do that I wanted to do as a kid? And some would say like, oh, I wanted to go skydiving, or I wanted to do like I want to go like horseback riding or something like that. Like all these little things that kind of connect with your inner child. And I think a lot of adults, especially when they come from a scarce mindset, once they make the money and they become millionaires, but they're still in the scarce mindset where it's like, I got to continuously make more, because they kind of lost connection with themselves. And they realize that they have all the power they had, the leverage they can get to do the thing that they could have done, but they choose not to do it because it's part of society to be more responsible in that.
I think it's still that retaining fear, like regardless of the amount of money they have,
which is
they're
the
always
scarce
scared they're gonna
mindset. Yeah,
they're always gonna run out. They're always fear that they're gonna run out, so that's what forces them to behave that way.
And like, I think for rich people, like, we look at them as like, oh, they're rich, like, you know, they should be thinking of life that way. And it's like, I feel as if like people get to stages. So when you're in poverty, right, and you're trying to get out of that to be middle class, you adapt a mindset where it's like you either accept your situation and just basically keep grinding and to maintain that lifestyle that you have, because you're grateful for the like being able to live in those circumstances because you're so used to it. But then like if you want to move up, you have to take on a little bit of a different mindset. And I think the same holds true for rich people, but they just don't realize it because they have gotten the success that society thinks is successful, but they themselves internally don't feel successful. In other words, they haven't connected with either their inner child or their something internally within themselves that they know they should do, but they realize that it's not going to give them financial gain, such as like self-fulfillment in that regard. And I think that's the thing that most people are like, oh, that's a rich person problem. It's like, yeah, but it's a problem to the point where even rich people kind of like unend themselves. So like the reason why I say this is because every person is going to face certain troubles. Because like for me, I've never been in like poverty, and like I've met like most of my family friends, they lived in downtown areas where it was kind of rough. And sometimes like my friends would literally talk down on me for my privilege, and it would make it seem like I don't have an opinion about anything because I came from a life of privilege and I didn't know where they came from at certain points, but I kind of understand their situation. But it seems as if like whenever I voiced my opinion, it felt like I was talked down upon, because it's like, oh, you don't know what it's like to live in downtown where you have to live on the streets and be more street smart and stuff. You know, so I feel as if like we should value the opinions of like I wouldn't say value, but listen to other people's takes on what they think a situation is. But we don't have to like follow advice. Like, this is why I don't like giving advice sometimes, because I would probably say something and I don't even know if I fulfill that advice myself, you know? And I feel like that's also a part of growing up, is like realizing you don't know anything, but being okay with that. But you also have to like learn as you go. And a lot of people, especially when you're an adult, you kind of don't want to learn because you feel as if, oh, I've lived enough. I don't need to learn X, Y, and Z to grow because I already grown up. What else am I supposed to do? You know?
Right.
But I think that's like the tug of the hard place, because it's like you can go on life knowing what you know and just retain what you know and just like, you know, hang out with your friends and have a good time, because some people like to live life where ignorance is bliss, and it's like, you know, I just want to live life where I enjoy my life. And it's like, if your life is just enjoying being with your friends and your family, and money is not a big issue for you, then, you know, that's golden. You're living your happy years already. So, you know, I mean, like, it also depends on what a person envisions for a happy life.
Yep, it depends.
Yeah,
right. Different people have different aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to live a simple life. I don't want to be rich.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to be rich, like if you do value wealth as like one of your values, right? I value wealth as one of my values, and I didn't at the beginning. I mostly valued freedom, mainly.
I mean, it is for me in pursuit of freedom, right?
Yeah,
like I explained before.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's now become one of my values, because people think that when you value wealth, you value money. No, like money and wealth are totally different things. And I probably should explain the differences, at least from my perspective. I'm not like a dictionary. I don't have all the right answers. and I probably won't say the things in the right definition context. But wealth for me is basically you're living the life that you want. It's filled with experiences, because wealth can also be experiences. You're also willing to like go one step towards something that kind of gives you a little bit of anxiety. Because actually, like, I did that this weekend, going on a Zoom call with like a AI group. They like someone was hosting an AI group, and I thought I would just join them and see what it was like. I didn't get to talk much, but they were discussing. It was like being in an AI course where it's like the person was lecturing about what AI is like to a layman audience. And I was just surprised how much people were there, you know, on the Zoom call. Like, I only stuck around for like an hour, but it felt like I was in college again. Just learning about AI and all that stuff. And that was like one of the things that I tried to like actually stick out. Yeah, I was still by my computer, but at least I tried to meet like people that were total strangers in some way. Right. And that's usually like the first step, I think. Just like to try something. And then like maybe the next time I'm gonna probably touch grass and like probably try to meet people like in a different aspect. But I usually count that as a small step forward.
Yeah, I think that's good, and like especially considering the times, I think that's a good group to sort of like talk to and reflect with. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to a friend. He's not even in IT, but he's planning to use AI to help him build his resume out, like his flexibility with AI, because he knows that AI is becoming more popular.
Yeah.
But also to help with his current job. Right. He has a type of mindset where even though he's not in like tech or whatever, mm-hmm. If it's something that's useful to him, mm-hmm. it can drive him enough to like want to go after like learning anything as long as it's helpful to him.
Yeah. I think that's what I would use AI for too, is just to learn the stuff that I'm curious about, or probably the stuff that I didn't even consider. Right. Like complex systems and whatnot, or Like, I think for me, it's like I don't like building the AI, but I love the aspect of thinking like, oh, if I can vibe code with it, or if I can ask it, like, can you make a program that allows me to get certain concepts quicker or concepts like easier? You know, that would be like very helpful, because I think
Right.
in life you always have to constantly learn if you want to like evolve. But like, you know, you don't have to if you're living the life you already want. But if you want to, like, if you're driven by like curiosity, you will find that thing that you like. And I think AI will be a good benefit for that, because it's like, literally we use our calculators to make like certain estimations on like what values we have in mind, and you can use your calculator to predict the future by just calculating a certain value. Of course, it's not going to be accurate, but it's actually going to lead you somewhere, like in a ballpark, like for your goals. And I think AI will be a better version of the calculator, where it can actually help you get to where you want to be, even if it's just a small thing. Like, I want to be able to play the guitar better. How can I do that, like, every week? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can plan vacations now using ChatGPT or AI.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and they're pretty good at giving you like
It will
an
literally
itinerary.
book the hotel for you, and you don't even have to do anything.
Is that like are you talking about like flight accuracy and stuff right here?
No, it's more like it gives you like, say you don't know what to do in Japan, for example,
Yeah.
and you don't know nothing about the country. You could just say, give me a 10-day itinerary that
Oh shit! Yeah,
is
that's
good for
nice.
hike. Like, I love hiking. I love to see amusement park, blah blah blah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it will give you like a pretty much like day by day. Oh, day 2, 1, 2, 3, you could be here, and then 4, 5, 6, you could be here.
That would be good for me, because like if I were to be lucky enough to go to Japan, I'm saying it's not likely, but if it does happen, I would be like, I don't want to go to the tourist spots. I want to be able to like go where the locals go. I know a minimal
Yeah, and you could
Japanese.
type that
I would
in
type that and
AI.
basically like, where do I need to go to actually be in situations where I'll be using the most my Japanese at the most of its efficiency, and
Mhm.
where I can actually meet like actual friends like in Japan. Like, I would literally like type that out, or like, even though I probably won't meet new friends, it would give me the possibility of actually trying to make the effort of meeting them, even though, like, you know, like, more likely it's never gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, AI should be considering stuff like, oh, this location is known to have friendly populace. You
Yeah,
may
it'll
find
probably
a
give me a
friend
prefixure
there.
where it's like, oh, this area likes to talk to foreigners, like, that are trying to speak
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japanese or something
Or
like
like
that.
this, like there's this group in this area of Japan that's
Yeah,
like looking for more foreigners to join their
yeah,
community or something.
yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think like with AI, right? A lot of people are worried about it taking their jobs and whatnot, and I don't blame them for feeling that way, because it's funny, because I was actually watching a video from a tech YouTuber, and she was talking about how there's something called a superconductor logic. And what this technology is that, you know how we have big data centers for AI, and people are hating on those things because they don't really provide that much, and they kind of pollute the planet faster.
Suck the water out of
They
the
suck the
ground.
water, and they
Yeah.
also put like carbon in the atmosphere.
Mm.
So imagine that you basically had the power of a data center, but it's in the size of a shoebox.
Shoebox.
Yeah, so like, it's kind of interesting, the tech. I sent the video to you, Rainier. Like,
Oh,
I,
that one.
I
Oh,
recommend
yeah,
I recommend
yeah,
you watch that on your own time. But
sure.
like, it was a pretty interesting aspect. So apparently, imagine like you can fit like logical processors in the size of a shoebox, like the transistors and everything, right? Like, you know, like all the semiconductors, what have you, right? In the size of a shoebox. And imagine you put that and stack that on top of other shoeboxes.
Mm.
You literally have this, and imagine that's the size of a full refrigerator. That's how they believe that the future of data centers are going to be like. Just like something that's the size of a refrigerator. Can you imagine that? Like
Huh?
a whole
Just a
football, like
tiny
something
one?
that takes 5 football fields, like a data center, in like
Yeah.
something the size of a refrigerator. I'm like, and it's funny because you just have to make sure that it's at like sub-zero temperatures, and it will
Mhm.
It
run.
makes it would make sense since like historically we've always like made our technology smaller,
Yeah,
but
like Moore's law.
yeah, I mean, it's also like by then,
Yeah.
would we even be in a state of like, would a planet and our like, I guess humans as a whole,
Yeah.
be in a situation where they could even afford that?
Yeah, like utilize the technology. But it's like stuff like that that makes me optimistic because it feels as if like we really want to make a world where it's not polluting the present day world. At the same time, like
Sure, yeah.
we really want this technology to help us. Like, you know how the calculator helped us with like just
Yep.
doing boring arithmetic. And I know a lot of people hate on AI because it's like, oh, it's taking jobs away from creators, it's taking jobs from like podcasters because they can make AI images and AI videos. Like even YouTube is starting to slam down on like AI content. Like basically like any AI created like videos and stuff. And sometimes I can't even tell the difference because like now whenever I see like someone has like a thumbnail where it's just showing them talking to the camera, I literally have to like look at it with squint eyes and I'm like, is this an AI? Like, you know, like because sometimes you can't tell and I'm like,
It gets better and better.
it gets better and
Yeah.
better and I have to stare at their mouth and I'm like, is their mouth moving the way an AI would? And like it's so freaky, but at the same time it's like I feel like this is where the technology is going. And I feel like, you know, like imagine if you had like, because you guys know that I've talked about my story a couple times. Like I've been, like you two are the only one, like one of the only ones I've told about how my story begins and how it ends. And I never even
For the book.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like I didn't bother writing it because I was like, you know, like if I'm not writing it, then I'm probably not that passionate about it, to be honest with you. And like if I just had an AI that basically showed me the like if I was just making AI images, like anime images of my book, I probably would just post that on YouTube. And like
Yeah, there's. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, like that's what I was showing with Sora, like when Sora was a thing. Like I actually tried those and I was actually trying to make promo trailers
yeah.
for like the story I wanted to write, and I felt like I had more fun doing that than actually writing the damn thing.
Right.
So
Oh, okay. I see.
so for
Generative
me,
AI.
yeah, for me, because like the reason why I wanted to write a light novel is so that it could become an anime. But maybe like my aspect was probably like maybe I should just have like AI make an anime for me. Something like that.
Yeah, it's there's like somebody I follow on IG and like his whole content is that like
Yeah.
I mean I follow a few pages,
Yeah.
but there's a guy that I just watched like I actually watched two people. So like one guy is like now known, like he used to just make like these videos where it's like anime characters turned to real people and then they're just flexing in the camera like
Oh,
what would
yeah,
they
I've
look like
seen it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if they were like or god.
JJK and they're like live.
Yeah, and
action.
they do the thing with the finger in the mouth, and then like their
Oh,
teeth will
man.
have like grills and shit.
Oh
Yup.
man.
Yeah. It looks so cool, but
I
it's
know
I
like
it
remember
does.
those.
this I think he's one of those guys. He started making like an anime. I think he was just playing with like ideas, and then somehow he's found these characters that people like, and now he's constantly using these characters. So now it feels like he's creating his own anime where it's like there is this old lady that's constantly coming back. She has like a bone. She's like a shaman or something.
Yeah.
But like whenever there's like an antagonist in
Yeah.
the reel, like she fights that person, and then we get to know more about her lore through her attacks. Like she fought like this other person that was being controlled by like an undead thing.
Yeah.
And then we find out like her spine is like a sword or something that she could use like a scorpion like stab thing. And this one now she's like a necromancer, so she has like power over the dead. She's fighting like 3 people, but then like they don't know they're fighting on the battlefield, so she summons like a bunch of skeletons to like drag like one of them down and stuff. So it's like it's AI, but there's still a human there that's creating that story for the AI.
Right.
And like you know, the reason why we hate AI is because it's what you said, like it could
Yeah.
potentially be taking jobs and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
sometimes AI is the only way that we could actually express our ideas, or even like that will help pitch the concept of an actual like animation or show that will use actual people, like not
Yeah.
necessarily AI anymore. So
Yeah.
it does have its like importance and stuff like that. And there
And
are YouTube
advantages.
videos, yeah, advantages like there's like I think there's like mixture of passages, fan fiction, or things from like the Lord of the Ring. I mean, from the Game of Thrones books.
Yeah.
That people have turned into like a 7 or 10 minute like show. So it's like that's one of the advantages. Instead of it taking like 7 or 8 years, or like some fan wanted to make it and then they
Yeah.
give up halfway because it's too much work. Now
Yeah.
you have AI that could like it's never tired. So like you just need to have the concept, and then
Yeah.
you just need to accurately portray what you're trying to think about, and then the AI can
Yeah.
make it.
And I get it too, where it's like, if you have like so many actors and their lives are literally just like on the web, like who's to stop like studios basically taking like the actor's image and just putting it in an AI simulator and just like have like editors just basically edit that and make like a movie starring this one person, but in actuality they didn't star in it at all. It was just an AI image created of them.
Right.
Which I understand why people are like, yo, it's gonna take my individuality away. It's gonna make like celebrities not work as much because of, like they can take their image off the net and stuff. It's like I understand the pitfalls, but then again, like I think now, like legislators, they have to actually start working on laws involving AI now, because it's like soon like people's identities are gonna be like taken without their consent. Like it's like, yo, I saw this video that the person looks like you, and it's like, yo, did they steal my image? It's like, where'd they freaking took it from?
Or like the voice, right? Lots of voice actors.
Yeah, like
The
in
voices
voice
going
actors too.
forward.
Yeah, like I don't blame them for like basically saying like, yo, AI is an abomination because it's gonna take my livelihood away. At the same time, it's like, yo, if you're gonna use my voice, yo, at least pay me some royalties. Like,
I think there was a
like,
Japanese voice actor that, like,
uh-huh.
yeah, like had a problem with that, with his voice being used for like by
Yeah,
AI.
yeah.
And I don't know what he's doing about it, whether there was like some lawsuit or whatever. But yeah, I just saw some headline about it.
Yeah, I think that's basically what the politicians have to do now, because I think for countries, they can't ignore it anymore. Like, they can't put it off on the back burner. Because, like, now it's, like, at the field where it's like, oh, it's just an emerging technology. We have time for that. It's like, no, we have, like, 5 years to plan for this, buddy. We got to get this stuff done now. And, like, because, like, mostly politicians are old heads, so they're like, yo, like, the technology won't catch up that fast. I've lived longer than you guys have. It's not going to catch up that fast. And then when it catches way faster than they thought, they're like, oh, yeah, we don't have, like, provisions for that. It's like, see, we told you. It's like that type of stuff. But yeah, I think like it's gonna take some jobs away. I'm not gonna deny that. But at the same time, I feel as if it's gonna take away the drudgery of like making a project happen, I think. Because like, let's say you don't have a budget to actually, like, you don't even have like a dollar to make a movie that you have in your head. And like, you don't want to write the script, but you have like this idea in your head. Like, it might not be a good movie, but it could be like a good YouTube video, And I think
Also,
that's
you could
enough
do
for
that
some
with
people.
you could do that with music now too. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet, but I have, I think, at least 2 music apps on my phone. I was curious to see like how they work. So like I have them installed, just haven't tried them yet. But
Yeah. I've tried certain AIs, like, I remember I was, like, trying to mess with the music AI, and, like, I would just type out lyrics and just have it try to make songs for that. That was actually pretty fun. Were they good songs? No, because they're based off lyrics that I had in my head. But at the same time, I felt as if, oh, that was pretty fun. Like, I created
Did
for the
they
sake of
give you
creating.
like a beat and rhythm and everything?
Yeah, they gave me a
Like,
beat, and then basically I just typed the lyrics in, and I basically told what type and genre I wanted. And it gave me stuff that I wasn't expecting, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Like, I had John listen to one of them, like, a way back, and I find it very interesting how, like, we come to the point where we actually can create something, even though it might not be the vision I exactly
Sure.
thought it was, but it turned out something that, wow, I actually created something. Like, I didn't need like a singer, I didn't need a studio, I didn't need like someone to play the instrument to make the sound. I was like,
Mhm.
wow, I actually created something. And I think that's the thing that's lacking when it comes to like when it comes to like being an adult, is that you want to create things, but but when you're an adult, you feel as if, oh, if I'm creating something, it has to be for a profit, or it has to be something that maintains my lifestyle. But what people don't realize is that your lifestyle is the way you also have fun, the way you can do stuff that it doesn't involve some sort of incentive for you to actually financially benefit. You get what I'm saying? It would be nice, sure, but then eventually you're going to get tired of it, because you're going to be like, dang, my livelihood is reliant on this particular thing that I thought was fun. Now it's not fun anymore because now I have to turn it into some profitable entity that everyone else wants to appreciate. Um, which I'm not downsizing on it, but I'm basically saying, like, you know, this was my thing. Like, some people like to have it as their thing, and they don't want it taken away by, say, someone that wants to use me to be the outlet of making more of that thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is probably why I don't stream as much for you guys sometimes, because I try not to do the content creator grind type of thing. Even though I do like making content and I do like streaming, I don't go all my way to like edit clips or like, you know, like do the typical grind that most content creators do. And if a content creator basically be like, well, you should be more hungry for it, and I'm like, no, I just have fun with you guys doing it. Like, that's the reason why I do it. Even if I'm chatting with, like, even though we're chatting with probably no one from the ether, like, at least I just put out content out there because I just want to.
Mm.
You know, like John streams sometimes, and he streams like himself just playing video games, and
Yeah.
like, and your chat and John's chat is more active than me sometimes, because like he would have his friends pop up, or we have me pop up, and you know, he still is able to talk for hours about like the game that he's playing. You know.
Yeah, it's I enjoy it. I think it also helps me focus sometimes. There
Oh
are
yeah.
definitely times where I'm completely silent and I'll
Yeah.
forget I'm streaming.
Yeah.
But
Same here.
yeah. It helps me rethink certain things sometimes depending on the games I'm playing.
Now, if we could get Rainier to stream, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, that because like obviously doing the podcast I think is the most fun, because it allows me to talk the most, and like if you guys want to show up in the chat and type something in the chat, it allows me to engage with you on a conversational level. But I think that's the fun of live streaming, because I started out just doing YouTube videos and it would just be me talking to the camera. But then I realized when streaming came out, and then like I would see people talking in the chat like live, I can actually communicate them in real time. I think that's the thing that I loved about streaming, is because it allowed me to connect with you guys at that real moment. Like if you guys wanted to talk about like a certain topic that you're curious about or something like that. But I am not a funny streamer. I am not a very entertaining streamer. In fact, John is more entertaining than me, because he would have wild outbursts that are just straight up funny, and they get me rolling in the floor laughing.
Nah, that's like objective. Like it's I mean, well, it can be funny, but it's like it'll be funny for you, but it might not be funny for somebody else. They're like, who's
No,
this?
no, it's
Who
not
is
fun.
this fool?
No, the only person that it's not funny towards is you, because you would be like having these wild outbursts. It's just so funny, and he doesn't yell at the game. He just basically has like weird comedic outbursts that are just straight up funny. like he would be fighting
Questionable-
something. Yeah, he would be
questionable
fighting.
mental.
He would be fighting something. He would be like, "No, you beast!" It would
Oh,
be
yeah,
so.
yeah.
It would be so freaking funny. and
Oh
I
my
would-
god. My one of my friends saw that video. Like I basically made a compilation on IG
Yeah.
with some of like my like basically like what games I've been playing.
Yeah.
The whole a long time ago I was supposed to constantly update the IG with like games I would beat and like what I think of them, but then
Uh-huh.
I've been lazy, and then I played like 10 games before I updated anything, so I just like I just put a clip of like one clip of like every game I played since then or whatever, or tried
Yeah.
to fit it in.
Yeah.
That clip is there, and then one of my friends saw that. He's like, dude, that was so bad. And I was like, don't tell.
Yo.
But like, yeah, it's like the zombie. It was a clip of The Last of Us Part 2. There was like I think it started with 1 or 2 zombies coming at me. I had a straight
Yeah.
shot,
Yeah.
and then like it did some weird movement
Uh-huh.
where I like missed, and then I
Yeah.
panicked. I shot again, and then I missed, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That's why I was getting mad because I was also using a sniper rifle, and the bullets
Yeah.
are rare.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, "You should already be able to land this." And then when I didn't land it, I was like, "Oh my god!" That's when I was just like, "Yo!" And then it got mad close,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, you bitch! Don't touch me!" But yeah.
Wasn't that the clip I made for you? Though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. And then that's what I mean. Like these clips, whether you've made them, thank you, Peter, or like somebody else made them, or I made them.
Yeah.
I just took like one clip of like every game that I've played recently, or
Yeah.
the ones that I liked, and I could fit.
I
on
remember
IG
there
and
was
just put
one
it
when you
there.
were playing. What was the game that you played as a knight and you're like wandering all over the place?
Um, was it a knight or was it a samurai?
It was a knight.
Was it first person?
No, it wasn't first person. It was like
That might
third person.
be That could be Elden Ring, I think.
No, it wasn't Elden Ring. It was I think it was like Crimson something. Like was it Crimson?
Oh,
Desert?
Crimson Desert. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you were trying to do some magic, Juju, and then the crate freaking slammed you in the face, and you were
Oh,
like, that was so funny. You were literally like doing magic, and I thought you were gonna do something epic, and then suddenly the crate just hits you at the worst moment.
Yeah, I was it's this trick that's supposed to it makes like a shield for projectiles, so when projectiles come, you like spin them and you can shoot them back.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it could also like hit like regular objects that are like on the ground.
Yeah.
So it started collecting all these objects, and then a box was like in the corner. It got hit by the thing,
Yeah.
and then the box hit me, and I was like, it actually got some damage, but more importantly, it like off-posed me. Like I got knocked down, and then the boss like got an opening. And I was like,
See,
yo.
it's clips like that that reflects the stories that John would tell me, and I just burst out laughing, and he doesn't understand why I laugh at it. It's just literally, it's like he does something that you would think would be very imposing and very like normal, but then it just turns around and does something funny and hilarious, and I'm like, yo, bro, that is so random, but it's funny.
So many times, so I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Good games.
Yeah, and I think that's what life is all about. Like, cause like John
Good
doesn't
moment.
think John doesn't think he's funny, but I think he's very funny. Like Rainier thinks he's not like he doesn't think he's like very smart, but I think he's like very very intelligent. You know, cause like for like deep topics, I love to talk to Rainier about these deep topics, and I also like to talk deep topics with John actually. But I also love the fact when John can make me laugh at the most randomest things. He will make like a random noise out of nowhere, and like it would just get me bursting out laughing. Like there's this one story where like me and John were just hanging out. We were getting boba, and then he was driving, and then suddenly a bus, like those small school buses, Rainier, like where they take like kids with special needs,
A short bus.
like the smaller school buses.
Yeah.
So there was one behind him, and they were going mad fast, like literally on his tail. And he was like, "Yo, what the freak? Yo, you got kids in there?" I'm like, "What the?" And he said, "You got kids in there," and I was bursting out laughing when he was saying that. And then the bus just basically passed him or went to another neighborhood or something. And then he was like, "Yo, if I see another freaking bus," and then two buses come out of nowhere, and then he was like, "Yo, mofo." I was like cracking up until we got to the traffic light. It was so freaking funny.
It was
like,
so dumb. I was. I
no,
can't believe it.
that's literally what it's like to hang out with you, bro. It's like there's like dumb small moments that make me feel like, damn, like I'm glad John is in my life because I get to experience laughter like no other, because like I don't laugh this much even when I hang out with Kev, bro. That's not the reason.
Cheers.
That's the reason why like I love hanging out with you, because I know something stupid's gonna happen and it's just gonna get me bursting out laughing.
Yeah, that was crazy. Cause like when that actually happened, I was like, what? What are the chances? What the?
That's
Yeah,
literally your life,
it
bro.
was
It's like,
crazy.
what are the chances, bro? Like, the thing that made me laugh the most about that day was like, yo, why you go so fast? You got kids in there. I'm like, Yo.
Yeah, it's not safe. Honestly, yo.
Yo, Rainier, if you're ever back in Jersey, bro, yo, we gotta all three of us gotta hang out together, and you'll see what I mean.
For real.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yo, I don't know if I met him once, but I don't think I ever met Barry either.
No, you haven't met my cousin Barry. I don't think so.
Damn shout.
Yeah. But, like, let me know if you ever come to Jersey again, Rainier, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in New York City, but only for like one day because I'm taking
Okay.
a cruise over there.
Oh, you're taking a cruise? Oh, what type of cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a New England one that goes to Maine.
Oh, okay. Cruise kind of scare me because, like, you're stuck on, like, the ocean for long amounts of time. Because I think I'm horrified by it because I remember when I still had Netflix, I watched a documentary about a cruise that was lost at sea and they lost power. And literally,
what a thing to watch.
yeah, yeah. No. Like I watched like documentaries about like either true crime or like events that happened, bro. And it's like when I saw that documentary about the cruise that basically lost power and they were stuck at sea, I was like, bro, yo, like it was bad. Like they literally had to like their toilets were backed up and like the hallways were filled with everyone's like droppings. It was just so bad. I was like, damn, bro, I can't imagine being on a cruise for 2 weeks and having to go through that. Man.
That's the thing, like, about, because I remember that you guys said you don't like to watch horror movies, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things about reality that are scarier than like a good amount of horror movies too.
No, it's kind of funny because I hate watching horror films, but I don't mind watching documentaries about serial killers.
Yeah, see, someone like that is.
It's like my priorities are like elsewhere. It's like I hate watching horror movies because they're like I think they mostly fixate on like the visuals and how to make it very scary in your mind to stay. But I think with like documentaries, they don't focus on that. They mainly focus on the actual events. And like, yeah, they do have like imagery of like the crime scenes and stuff, but it's not like trying to make a jump scare for you or something like that. Unless they have like a little bit of the eerie music that makes you feel uncomfortable. But it's mainly like the eerie music that creates the atmosphere, not really like trying to get a jump scare out of you.
Right.
Is it like the opposite for you, John? You like watching horror films, but you don't like watching like docs about like true crime or whatever?
I like both. I'm just weird because like I'll watch both.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot less, but it's like I will watch a good amount of horror movies and stuff before I go to bed, and I'm like not affected, but it's usually because I'm tired. And like it's very weird. I used to listen to a lot of like well, I listen to ASMR now, but
Yeah.
I used to listen to a lot of like these there's these channels where it's like hours upon hours of them just reading horror stories.
Yeah.
And like that used to be my lullaby basically. Yeah, and it sounds
That's
weird,
great.
but it's like the stories are supposed to be like interesting enough for me to focus on, but then the people that usually read them are calming. Like they have very calming voices. So I fall asleep to the voice. But then like when I I used to live in my dad's house and my cousin used to live with us, like my two cousins, I'll sleep and I didn't have headphones at the time, like sleeping headphones, so I don't have it like mad loud, but I'll have it at like volume, like maybe if the phone has like 10 volumes, it's at like volume 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So like it's very low, but they could hear it. They'll be sleeping on the other side. Like let's say I'll sleep on like the right wall, they'll be sleeping at like the top of the room wall.
Yeah.
Or the front of the wall, and then like I'll be sleeping and then I just pass out, and the next morning my cousin will look tired and I'm like, yo, were you able to sleep last night? And she's like, no. I was like, why? It's like, yo, whatever you were listening to, man, was like really fucked up and scary. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what scared you. She was telling me how like there was a story, like it's just those like it's just those scenarios where, because tons of the stories are creepypasta, but some of them could be quote unquote like real stories.
Right.
Like, you know, the typical like I was at work late night
Yeah.
and then like this weird dude came in and then like he left, but then there was like shoe marks that showed that he was actually still inside. And I called the manager, I looked at the cameras, I couldn't find him. Called the police came, searched, they actually found him, blah blah blah.
Oh,
And then it's like, it's those types of stories, and then It's just like, why do you listen to those things? And I was like, yo, it's soothing. It's because of the guy's voice. But yeah, anyway, I was like rambling, but
It's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I ramble on the podcast like from time to time. It's good that someone else rambles besides me.
yeah, the like even till now, I just usually listen to ASMR. But even like when those things, like if I have random play on and those things pop up, I usually fall asleep whenever I hear them. And I like the stories, and it sounds weird, but
Yeah.
the reason why it's almost hard for me to focus on them now is because I probably heard all the stories. Like a lot of the stories is just different versions of older stories.
Right.
And I think I've already heard like most of the older stories, so it's hard for me to even be affected by that stuff anymore.
Okay. Well, it's about 10:05, Rainier. Shall we call it here, or...
Damn, so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably
mean,
in 5 minutes.
in 5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's basically, I know we probably, probably diverted from the topic here and there, but, you know, life is always going to pull you at different ends of the heartstrings, you know. There'll be things where you feel like you're compelled to, like, do certain things, whether it be, like, for yourself or for, like, others, or whether to maintain, like, your own social standing, for your future or whatnot. But, you know, that's what we'd like to talk about here. We'd like to talk about, like, topics that kind of show that we are all together in the human condition, and hopefully you find the right path to the life that you feel the most content and have the most wealth within what you feel like you deserve. I think that is like the main benefit of like, I usually have these podcasts to basically let the ideas that I have in my brain out, and Rainier has done a good job of like kind of like challenging me on certain like aspects of my ideas, because sometimes like I am a bit too optimistic sometimes, but I try my best to be as open-minded as I can to know that I am wrong at times, because I have a lot of friends that are just so stubborn that they won't admit they're wrong, and they consider themselves ultra realists. And I kind of feel bad for them because they talk very pessimistically. It's like, oh, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. And I'm like,
I'm a real boy.
and when I notice is that when people say that, like I understand when people say they're realists, they try to be like, you know, they try to make it seem like they're very down to earth. But whenever I hear them say that, like they say it's like, oh, it's a privilege to be a realist because I'm going to be right all the time, even about the most worst possible result. And I'm like, sure, yeah, I'm not taking that away from you. Go ahead, good on you. Because like, I think it's because like it could be just media portrayal of people that are considered realists, because they make it seem like being a realist is so miserable. They have to have like this stoic face, especially if they're guys, because they have to have this stoic face and basically say like, I'm a realist, I'm not going to show any sense of joy, but I'm not going to show any sense of despair.
Oh,
yeah,
like random take, but somewhat connected to the realist talk.
go ahead.
I went back and I started watching hold on, let me get the title. Give me 1 second. I went back and watched the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very good. I highly recommend.
Oh, that one.
I ended up finishing it.
Oh,
I would have
cool.
finished it in 2 days, but I like, you know, I had to focus on other stuff, and I was telling myself like,
Yeah,
I can't
I watched
marathon
that
this whole
too,
series.
actually. Yeah, I remember which one you're talking about.
Yo, it is so good. I'm waiting for the season 2 that's never coming out. But like,
That's how it is with like anime nowadays. Like, it's like you want a season 2 to come out, but you don't know if it has enough demand because you're from the global audience, you're not from the Japanese audience.
yeah, it's so good. I'm probably I don't have a manga app, and I don't know if I've said this every time I'm on this podcast, and the
Yeah.
last time I was here was probably like half a year ago, but
Yeah.
I need to download or get like a actual manga app, because like if
I think on
there's
Crunchyroll you can read manga.
oh yeah, that's true, yeah. I think, but don't you need like a special type of account? Like, isn't that like the...
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I'll check it out then.
Yeah, I think you can like watch it from, I think you can just read it from like your account directly.
But yeah, the story is amazing. I'm probably just gonna read the manga, because I doubt the animation is coming out anytime soon.
That's what I've been doing. Like, whenever I see an anime series that I get interested in, I instantly just try to read the manga.
Right.
But yeah, I think we've hit our critical point. So
Mm.
John, so I think we'll start off with you, Rainier. Do you have anything to say to a global audience before we depart for tonight?
Here's what I'll tell you in relation to our topic of being pulled in multiple directions, is that keep life simple. Simple is good. We've talked about really big things like politics and capitalism and communism and socialism and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, no matter what happens with politics, whoever the president is, you take care of your own personal world because you have to, right?
Yeah.
Um, take care of your family, spend time with them, and alluding to John's memento mori, which is everyone perishes at some time. Quality time begins today, and it should have began yesterday. If you aren't spending quality time with your friends and family, do it now.
Yeah, I'm going to add on that and basically say,
Snap.
Yeah, guys, like, no matter what your situation is, like, if you can't provide for your loved ones, like, financially, there's a part of you, like, part of your personality. You might not think it's something valuable, but it's valuable for your friends and family. There's something that you can do that's probably for free, and you know that you can provide that for them. Even if it's just, like, being, like, the words of encouragement, or just, like, being the person that just tucks them in at night. That's the thing. Like, there's always going to be something valuable that they appreciate from you. And it doesn't have to be financial. It could be something that, like, oh, you're there for me whenever I call, or you're there for me whenever I text you. It could be small things like that.
Yep.
Johnny boy, do you have anything to say to our global audience before we depart?
Keep it real, but take time to breathe in air. It's harsh, tough times these days, but keep your head up. Always have a reality, have like take your time, like breathe, think about like the type of situations you're trying to get yourself into. Ask yourself like if you could afford it, or if that's not just financially, can you afford it time wise, can you afford it like emotionally, all that stuff. You don't want to like go into something where you're already tired, like emotionally or just drained, but you feel obligated to go and you pass out. It basically gives you a double negative. So if you need to take a break, and then keep it up, keep going.
I know that was probably a lot, and probably like that's so John's take is like, take care of yourself, be authentic to the life that you want to present yourself as, and like don't stray away from that. Is that a good summarization of what you said, John?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, if you liked our podcast, hopefully that we were able to provide you something that you can take along for yourself for the rest of the week, and hopefully for the rest of the month. If you're watching this on YouTube Live or YouTube Shorts, hit the sub button in addition to hit the like, and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions of what we should talk about next, or what ideas popped up in your head while we were doing the ideas that we're talking about in this podcast. In addition, if you're watching this on Kick or Twitch, hit the follow button. It's always appreciated, so you can actually keep up with the Second Monday podcast, and I will do my best to make sure that we hit every Monday from now on, Second Monday from now on, because I know that there are times we miss it, and like if we miss it, but we try to make it at least once a month. So whenever we try to do it, hopefully we can get John in to like give his take on things, and if not, like John will probably listen to the podcast later on.
Yes.
So thanks for chilling up with us, guys, and always remember, everyone is precious. You guys are just as precious as everyone else. And we will see you guys in the next podcast /stream. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.